Shit, I ain't got any cigarettes. You guys got cigarettes by any chance?
Oh my god, I got 2 left.
Oh
I don't
shit.
smoke.
There you go. That's 1.
All right, thank you. Apparently you don't either, Donnie. This thing's almost like this thing's dry as hell.
Like I haven't really had a lot of meetings last couple days, so
I got you.
Haven't been taking many smoke breaks.
Give me just like 1 minute. I got to think about something just real quick.
Yeah, of course. And Eve, yeah, we are gonna do the 2,500 more circuit boards for tomorrow.
Okay, I'll work on that tomorrow.
And we could meet up, or you could just throw them in the house, whatever, you know.
Yeah, I'll probably just throw them in the house and send you a text.
Okay, yeah.
I'm probably changing my number today, so I'll send you guys text messages on my new number.
Okay. Is there a reason for that? Is like you in trouble or something?
Just a clean slate.
Okay.
All right, I'm good. All right, I'm good. I'd grab my food before the snow fucked it up. I got food right here. I'm gonna let it chill a sec. All right. I'm ready whenever you guys are.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
super good.
Oh shit! I think I said something, but then
I heard you say you're good, but we were waiting for kind of like you know, you do those things, Nino, where like, well, you do those things where you start to say something and you pause. And I thought you were in that pause loading processing moment.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're not wrong.
Computing.
Yeah, I was thinking, oh shit, they're thinking about something too. All right, all right, all right. So I'm gonna set the tone a little bit. I don't want to make it seem like what I bring up is the only thing that needs to be discussed, because Eve wanted to discuss some things. I'm sure Donnie, you got some stuff too. So. Yeah. Account is at $52,000. We have $153,000 in inventory. And then I think about 15,000 outstanding at least, maybe approaching about 35,000. In addition to that, Donnie's got, what do you say, like 25? Like
No.
Like another 21,000 in pods.
Oh yeah.
With that said, I mean, 4 benches, large stash, 2 computers, 2 racks. I mean, things are all right. Like, I think in regards to Los Santos Customs, things are on the up and up. Donnie mentioned, and I'm sure Eve, you've seen this too, is people are not around as much, which is understandable given most have been hired by me directly, and as with everything, if I'm not around, they're less likely to work, and that's just with anything, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
With that said, I think sort of like expanding who's hiring and focusing on it would be a good thing. But after a lot of thinking the last 3 days, I've been kind of vacationing, I realized the mechanic business is utter dog shit. The people in the business don't know what the fuck they're doing, and they got Mother Teresa syndrome, where they think they're going to save the goddamn city by giving away free repairs. Now, that's not to say that money can't be made. I go spend a day repairing. I'll make a decent buck. But is kind of like a hell of a lot of work, which is not fruitful. And I think it's the same case with the mechanics too. I've spoken to Mary on the matter. She's adjusted her prices similar to our business model. However, I still don't think in the grand scheme of things, it's a very healthy market in general. And while I want the business to continue, I am no longer going to be looking at it like a, the only focus that I'll have. Quite simply, unless the mayor makes some like regulatory changes, it's significantly more efficient, and I think I'm going to use the word enjoyable for most of ourselves and our employees. That it's the mechanic shop business is dog shit. So, but it does still make for a really good front, which is why I wanted to continue. So, I don't know if what I'm saying is a shock to anybody, but feel free to poke holes.
No, it's not a shock. I mean, you can definitely see with less people being around and how you're kind of forced to run with a certain model to make it work. It's not surprising that it is demotivating and demoralizing for the people who put in the time and work, that there's only a certain way that you can do it at this time. And like we discussed a while ago, that essentially we're still in that scenario where we don't know if parts and efficiency is going to change tomorrow when we wake up or the day after, because then that changes everything again.
I'll explain. Good questions. Very true.
I've actually been thinking about the mechanic side of things a lot, because I see that it's just not going to work. I don't think in long term any mechanic shop is going to hold people at all, and that's a problem because mechanics are needed for the city to run. And I honestly think the way that mechanics get on the up and up is that maybe a handful of shops, like 3 to 4 shops, get business license, and that's it. But those 3 to 4 shops, people can clock in and get receipts for repairing cars. And it's subsidized by the government because they're essential. That's how it's pitched to the mayor. Like, it's essential workers that are needed for the city to run. Because without that subsidy, there's absolutely no way mechanics are going to keep doing the job. They're going to stop working.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think there's going to be... Go ahead.
I was just saying, I was going to ask you two if at some point you guys wanted to go petition the mayor to see if we can get mechanic shops subsidized. I mean, maybe we'll be one of the shops that actually gets a business license for it. But, you know, I think that is what's really needed.
I think we can bring up the... While that would be nice to have, I just don't think that's going to happen. Based on how I've... is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? Very unlikely. And I feel like the mayor's office would not even entertain a receipt thing, nor would it necessarily be within their, you know... It might be something that we tease in, but quite frankly, I don't even know. We can start the discussion by bringing up the issues and seeing where it goes, but that might be too much of a Hail Mary.
It's also on for people to be able to, for the government, for be able to realize how hard it is to even operate a business like this is just, I know Vinny would be harder, just close down a mechanic store for 2 to 3 days and see how quick they ask, what do you need?
Yeah. That's actually, I mean, but it's that's almost impossible to do though, because there are independent mechanics that will just come out of the woodwork and start fixing cars in Mosley's.
True.
You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
if we could have everybody shut down, that'd be killer. But you know, you know how that goes.
So, um, the way I kind of look at it is, our mechanic shop. The idea that I think the idea of having an independent mechanic shop is something that may have been outside of. We may be very much ahead of our time, right? And what doesn't escape me is the idea of an independent business along these lines was sort of pioneered by the people that make up Los Santos Customs. Popular followed suit, and then many others did after that.
Medijam.
Very similar to like roadside service and other things like that. And so I think ourselves and many others went down this road thinking, I am unsure whether, how do I put this? I had a thought, but I can't really put it into words very well. We may be doing something that was not like, it's not set up for success because some of the infrastructure.
It's not that.
Exactly. Oh, I'll call you back.
Okay.
I didn't mean to pick that up. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly, Eve. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, there's not like business accounts. The business licenses aren't out. There's not bank accounts. So a lot of these troubles, like we don't know what the mayor's office is thinking, what the Chamber of Commerce is thinking, what's coming down the line. A lot of those things may solve a lot of these problems. What I do know is, or how I feel is, I don't necessarily want to petition the mayor too much, only give him a purview of what we're seeing so that we're coming across as helpful and less so demanding. Because under similar scenarios in the past, if let's say we were to go down there and we're like, yo, these are the issues, this is what we got to do, it may come across the wrong way, you know? But if instead we kind of paint a picture of what is happening and show that we're still working, and we ignore where we stand on the ladder of shops in terms of like gross income, etc., etc., I will personally be happy. Is what I'm making sense? Like, I know I'm kind of talking in a little bit in circles here.
Yeah, you're it sounds like we get out of the mayor's office whenever, and we just we tell them the issues that are going on, but we don't give them any solutions, and we kind of see what they say. We let them know we're still working, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, we get the license, we let it operate. Don't worry too much about how much money it's turned in, how many employees. We continue to let it operate to the best of our abilities, but just know that it's not going to be a huge moneymaker, right? And if we do look at it as mostly like an avenue by which money can come in and out, possibly used for like, properly cleaning cash, right? Being a vehicle for other opportunities in the city, I think that's the best success we can set for ourselves at this current junction. Because 2 months from now, it could be the same shit, 2 months from now, things could be completely fucking different, and none of our concerns really are going to be applicable anymore. It's just too much unknowns. All right.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, on the mechanic shop side of things, I guess that covers that. So,
yeah.
While you've been away on vacation, here, let me just shoot something to you.
All right.
I'll shoot it to you too, Eve, in case you didn't see this stuff.
Yeah, what Nino's trying to say is, let's not push ourselves beyond what we need to.
There's that one, and then
Marlo just hit me up, by the way. He said, hey, Nino, you got a minute? I was never able to wake back up the other day when we were talking about a job. I have enough for a bench, and I'm willing to buy for the shop if need be, willing to contribute in any way possible. I'm bringing that to everyone's attention because Marlo from the very start has been very interested in not necessarily the mechanic shop, but rather the people that have been involved with the mechanic shop and what might come down the line. So I'm just going to put that on the table. I'm not suggesting he necessarily attend this since he's kind of been on the outskirts assisting, but it is certainly something we should keep in the back of our minds, because wherever this conversation goes today or over the next couple of weeks, I'm starting to think that there's a bigger picture here that we need to tackle, but I don't want to get too ahead of myself.
Yeah.
Did you see those texts I just sent over, Nino? So, and I'll tell you the reason why why those are relevant to us.
What is this?
So this is just stuff this is kind of stuff that's been on Twitter. There's been some beef happening between
the fuck is this?
The company and it looks like these union guys, and they've been all over Twitter after each other type deal, and there's been insane undercutting with prices on like GPU racks and mats, and like so much back and forth happening. I don't know the details of it because I've only seen what's on Twitter, but yeah, it's not just the mechanic shops that are undercutting each other. It's like I said, I just bought a rack for $6,000. You know what I mean? Like everybody, like the markets.
Wait, 6,000? It just clicked. That shit was being sold for like 25G.
It was, yeah. They wanted 30K at first. Remember, Ray wanted 30K, and then I just bought one for 6,000.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. So they're just undercutting each other, but in turn, so dropped the prices on them, and then in turn, what happened? The company went and decided, well, they're gonna go and hurt the people who are associated with doing that, and they're gonna hurt the source of all of that, and that is the union who are pumping out materials for it. So there's been sanitation workers have been being shot up, being attacked.
What?
Yeah, it's been ongoing down at the yard. Like they've been having to take off their blue hats, been having to say they're not union at all, and that's where this is coming from. The back and forth between them is consistently about that, and then it comes back to that's why that twat about OTT.
Damn, what the
attacking,
fuck?
Like you're gonna bring down the.
This is what's great about
prices.
jumping on a character after. Like,
they
dude,
hurt their.
What the hell?
They hurt their business. They're gonna do the exact same.
Okay, so the reason why I was trying to say this is relevant to us, Nino, is that, like, okay, I've been playing catch up on Toe to get the crowbar and lockpick blueprint, right?
Yeah.
That ship has so far sailed that that's not even what we're going for. Like, yes, it's going to be good to have them, but like, the ship on those has sailed. That market's gone. PCs, all that stuff, that market's freaking dead too. You know what I mean? Like all this stuff is kind of dead right now. even Buttcoin, they were putting it like
no, I'm
super
glad
cheap
we did.
prices for sale.
I like it better coming back and hearing this.
But
because there's more
remember we were
stuff
talking
to
about
RP off
getting
of.
dipping our hands in some other things. If it's possible, I think what we need to do is we're going to have to skip over a couple things that might be right in front of us right now and get on the next big thing right when it drops, if we can, just so we can be on the cutting edge, because otherwise we're going to play catch up forever. Like if we're trying to get chop rep up after this, like there's going to be people that have chop rep that is insane right now. You know what I mean? And if we're just starting out with that stuff, like it'll take us forever to get that guy up to where we need to be to get anything. And whoever's up there, whatever they get at that time, that market's going to be dead before we even get close to it, you know?
So I like where you're going with this, Donnie, but I think I want to kind of take a step back a little bit, and I don't want you two to kind of stop me if you think I'm crazy here. But before I say anything, who is it that the company is beefing with? Because you mentioned the Blue Hats. Are they beefing with like the
Lang & Co.
Okay. So about 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago or something like that, I brought up my concerns to Lang and about Popular and what they were doing, specifically with the crew that Pata was running, as they were trying to drive down prices at the time. And they were in cahoots. There was a whole did you see the pages, Eve? Did I ever show you that? They have this like they had a whole like write-up. It was like a crew.
I found a book from Popular as well that I wanted to show you.
Is the one that talks about like a non-union sanitation crew and da 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 da?
No, but you did show me that one.
Ah.
Yeah.
So during
the
that
Scrappers?
Yes. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
So during my conversation with Lang, because I was like, listen, I got to go for Popular, and who's going to get pissed off at them? Probably the union. Because if they're driving the cost of repairs down, it is naturally going to have a direct impact on materials. It may seem small at first, but it has a direct correlation. Lang agreed at the time. In addition to that, I had mentioned to him that if I really wanted to, and that's opportunity still exists, I would start doing requesting all our mechanics to start repairing at cost, and possibly even below cost, because what that does inherently is it puts the business that is not liquid as ours to get in a chokehold, because now all of a sudden your mechanics can't eat. All of a sudden, like they can't eat to begin with, even though I'm sure they think that they can, right, relative to everyone else, right? Okay, fine, you made $1,000 in an hour. That's still bullshit if you're still standing around for two. You know what I'm saying? So if you drive everything the fuck down, now you're really in a chokehold. Frustration kicks in, business gets shut down, yada yada yada. It's by reading these tweets, I'm thinking that it looks like the union applied that strategy on the company. And it's causing fucking havoc. But you know what it's also telling me is that this is pretty much what the mechanic shops have been going through already for the past 2 weeks, but now it's in the PC space.
Yeah, it's I think I'm pretty sure he was joking, but OTT twatted out like $300 for a Buttcoin. Marty Banks said $1,800, then $1,500. Like
this is called a market crash, right? Now, where I was going with all this is that this is not very different than a crash in the stock market. It happened in 2008. It happened in 2002, following COVID. And you know what you do in a crash? You know who makes the money in a crash? Those with the liquid. So if motherfuckers are selling shit for nothing, then fucking buy that shit up.
That's why I got the rack. I said I'm gonna buy it before that goes back up.
Buy everything up, because there is no way on God that the market won't self-correct itself, because eventually people will get back to business as usual. But now all of a sudden you've gotten everything at a reduced 30% rate. The question is, where do you put that investment?
Well, I think what's gonna it's I think Bitcoin is it's only a matter of time before that skyrockets when certain apps or certain abilities come out that are going to be 10, 20, 30, 40 Bitcoin to operate. And when that happens, it's, you know what I mean? Like,
that's still going to be spotty, right? Like, something could come out that costs 500 Bitcoin, fine, right? But those are still one-time purchases.
Well, not if it's like the Wi-Fi where you have to per use type thing, you know? And it's
that
expensive.
is true.
If it's expensive per use, like 10 Bitcoin per use, and it's something that people really want, then, you know?
The real driver, though, I think, Donnie, is the cost of electricity if the bills come in. That's the big question mark. So the price that Bitcoin is currently going at may be below the electricity cost.
That's true. Once electricity comes out, Bitcoin's gonna have to correct in some form.
I would actually argue, if motherfuckers are selling Bitcoin that low, literally buy it all. What's the worst that happens? You make a bad play. What we paid, you know, you kind of see where I'm going with this. Like, let's say,
absolutely.
How much is the price?
People are putting it all. Like, the thing is like, you don't know until you call them. And also, we don't know how to transfer it yet. We don't have...
We do. You do it through your Wi-Fi, and they wallet it.
Is that Binance or whatever?
Yeah. I would literally say, like literally blow the load on the lowest amount that people are willing to sell. Like, it would probably take me a little bit to analyze the price, but this could be a collective thing we do. See what the lowest price is. If motherfuckers are literally fighting over it and selling it, then they're ego selling it. And if the ego selling it, literally buy every last Bitcoin they're willing to sell. And even if, let's say, there's a possibility that the value actually becomes less, right? Like, it goes down, it ends up selling 40% less. Who cares? Right? Like, what? You lost, like, what, 30,000? Not like you can't recoup that over 2 weeks.
There's a
but
huge
you know what?
upside to get it this low.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly it. So
I agree 100% on that.
But once this is still kind of getting ahead of things a little bit. I don't mean we shouldn't be having the conversation, but I do kind of want to circle back to Los Santos Customs and then kind of spawn off a little bit from there. I also want to touch on, you know, we got to wait for the next opportunity type thing. And I don't necessarily disagree. And the question becomes, what's the avenue to reach that? And here's what I'm thinking. I think the first thing is addressing Eve, what you and I chatted about, which was briefly, which was how do we operate when I'm not around? I think that's exceptionally important. I'm a strong believer in the shop, anything that we move forward on being very much a collective thing. I'm not one for standing on any kind of ivory tower bullshit. I've been there, done that. It's not the life I'm trying to live, right? And with that being said, I think like Donnie, yourself, Eve, y'all should be, you are entirely empowered to hire and make decisions like as you see fit. It's not like we're sitting on like some kind of fucking like diamond mine, right? Like it's a shop, and I think having good people there, giving them an opportunity, that's the only thing that matters right now. And the second is I think we need to seriously consider folks that are willing to chip into whatever the bigger project is. The bigger project being the hypothetical next thing. And that needs early money.
I think the first two people we talked to about possibly jumping into that is Brandon and Walker.
You mean like in what respect?
Jumping into the next big thing, like investing and doing all that stuff, you know? Like getting into the bigger picture beyond LSC.
Like pushing money towards it type thing?
Well, because Brandon already expressed, like I said, I sold the extra DasMEHDI ad to him. So,
right.
Yeah, so he's getting into stuff, and you know, I just those are two guys that are in house that you know, and Walker is, you know, like we're gonna get him a key as soon as we see him. I haven't seen him, but that's to come to the house to make parts. But if we want to get him in on this other further future stuff, you know, like you know,
yeah,
give them the chance. Hey, you guys want in on this or not? And you know,
yeah, I don't
just your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with them. I don't think that it necessarily needs to start with them either. I'm sure Eve's. First off, Eve, is this something you're interested in? Because I know we're kind of like we're talking about the shop and business. But I know Donnie, knowing you, you're also kind of in the mindset of like shop and stuff. Are we all talking about the same thing?
Well, I want to keep the shop going the best we can.
Yeah, I definitely want to see the shop going 100%. I think that's one of my main objectives, but anything that comes after that, I want to see it flourish 100%, because I think there's, you know, it's more, my mind is more settled on, you know, people working for themselves and experiencing things and then going towards a common goal after that, especially for the shop, because I think everybody wants the shop to succeed. And anything that comes after that, I feel like is just, you know, it's that.
I'm making sure I'm not pushing
see how
Eve
far
into
we can
this.
take this thing
and Donnie into it,
and we all just invest in it, and I like that.
Okay, all right, good shit. I know I speak to you two guys, y'all two like kind of separately, so I wanted to really make sure we're all on the same page here, and no one gets blindsided. So I like this a lot. I think those two names are really good. I'd like to also put forward, y'all know Sonia Summers?
I haven't met her.
No.
Short background. She fucked with my best friend, so I paid people to break her out of prison just so I could execute her. She was dumped in the water. Her brain was absolutely fucking fried. She was dead as far as anyone was concerned. Somehow made it and sort of became an agent of sorts. A lot of time has passed since then, but there's a special bond that her and I share, and there's been a lot of expression by her that she's looking for a little bit more, and I think it would be worth chatting to her about some things. She also operates Next Tsunami quite a bit. Very smart. Also not someone that you want to fuck with. She's the kind of person that if things needed to be done, she would handle it. And she's also the kind of person that, you know, she'd walk up to a judge and put a knife right through his neck.
Jesus, that's somebody that you need, somebody who doesn't hesitate.
And she's got the other side of her. Like she runs very old school at the same time, which means, you know, she knows not to spill shit, and she knows how to keep things on the hush. I think in regards to LSC, are there any other names? I think Eli, I think is a good one. She's put a lot of work in.
Yeah, she has.
I think elevating her would be really good as well. Make everyone really feel like they have a ownership of Los Santos Customs, and I think that's how it should be on paper as well. Is
yeah.
I have Fiona Carlo that I want to introduce to the business itself. think you remember Carlo from back in the Pegasus days, potentially, Nino.
Okay.
He just wants
Possible.
to. Yeah, he wants to. Carlo Marciano. He wants to just possibly see if he can come do some mechanic work, towing. But he is also at the moment heavily involved in all of the butt point stuff, which we can probably potentially do down the line. And then Fiona is Fiona. She is hard worker, and she at the moment she loves chopping as well, Donnie. So that might interest you to somebody to work with.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to derail it to get into something else, but yeah, no, that'd be good because we need to get more people that are into that side of things.
Yeah, 100%. And going back to the point, the shop really does not need to run 24/7 right now. All those pots sitting there, whether they get used up in a day or they get used up in a week, it's irrelevant, right?
Yeah. That's why I haven't been making anymore, because I saw that like we haven't really been doing many repairs, so
yeah,
I just kind of letting our inventory sit and it'll get used up as they get used up, you know?
exactly. I mean, we've already got the paperwork to show how much we've done. We got the employee list. We got some very heavy hitters. And right now, in terms of that front, business license, number one. Number two, getting a sense of where the mayor's office goes. Number three, seeing how Mosley's adapts to mechanics. And then whether this becomes a thriving business or it ends up becoming effectively a front. The rest doesn't matter. What matters is what comes after it, quite frankly.
Yeah.
All right.
Can I touch a little bit on that, the other stuff outside of LSC?
Yeah, 100%.
So like I was saying before was, I think, like until we get into that, we figure out exactly how everything looks like, we're not going to know really what we can and can't do when it comes to, whether or not we need to work a lot with the chop guy or not, you know what I mean? But I think it would be a good thing for us to be set up to where whenever the next thing does come up, we can get in that right away instead of chasing the stuff that people have been putting a lot of time into already. Otherwise, we're gonna be playing catch up forever. And where that comes in with the manufacturing stuff is we don't need to be first to market with something, but it would be nice to be in that window when things are lucrative, because if we're behind, then the market kills itself after like 2 weeks, 1 to 2 weeks.
Agreed.
So we need to be in that window of 1 to 2 weeks. So, if one of the guys down there says, hey, I want you to talk to my other buddy, and this other buddy just flies into town and he's got something new for all of us to do, instead of trying to get our chop rep up or whatever else up with these guys, we go straight to that new guy and start working on him, so that way we're on the cutting edge to be in that window. Otherwise, we're just going to miss the window every time. Does that make sense, or am I like...
No, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
I think to achieve that, so there's a handful of names that we mentioned, right? Mentioned like Brandon probably will get his hands dirty. There's Silvio, who probably would. There's
my tow truck.
No, I don't think so.
I hope not.
There's a handful of names, right? But right now they kind of operate independently. I think in order to achieve what you're saying, Donnie, we got to get these guys going out and giving them like yo, you guys go work this. Whether there's 2 of you, whether there's 5 of you, whether there's 2 groups going out and doing it, getting them to do it together is the most important thing. Because
Yeah.
most people ain't going to give a shit whether they're chopping or whether they're robbing a bank. What's important is the fusion that they're creating.
Yeah.
And then the secondary thing, in order to achieve that, so this is like groundwork, right? How do you get there? Because something could happen tomorrow. We ain't going to be ready, right? But the people are already kind of good at working with each other and getting their hands dirty, whether it's chop, whether it's this, whether it's that. Well, then that next thing comes, you throw it at them. The second thing is capital. And so whether it's like grinding up tow, whether it's like hitting G6, having a separate fund, whether it's a weekly buy-in, right? Chip in 5,000, like this is the tax for the week type shit, whatever you want to call it. That shit sits on the side and it's ready for when that money is needed for the big thing, whether it's buying a $5,000 chopping device or a $50,000, I don't know, like bank hacking thing. It's already ready to go. You're not like that shit doesn't happen and you're like, oh shit, we need to go spend the next 5 days gathering the resources to even begin running forward.
We need to form a collective, pretty much, like people that are all together and they're gonna trust
Yeah,
they're gonna trust some people to hold a bunch of money for the benefit of the collective.
that's right.
With that said, Eve, so Tao and Sergio are two people that are kind of already in on this a little bit. We talked to him a little bit about it.
Mm-hmm.
Tao lives with
Bane and
he
them.
does things with Bane and all them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who else lives with them over there?
Yeah, it's Bane,
Some
Marty,
sort of union?
Bucky.
No, not. You're
Ethan
missing
Toro,
it.
who's the MS. Charlie as well. Sanitation
Unions
Charlie,
are not
you know.
collectives, guys.
There's a few of them there.